Hey, what's up? I'm Mike from Wakey, and you're watching Marina Boy TV.
Okay, so I read a little bit about your background. I know you're classically trained, which is apparent in your music. You can tell that you have a technical background. Do you find that because you do have a classical background that you've had a harder time discovering your own sound, or did it help it?
Definitely, actually. It's a really interesting question. I've never been asked that before. I did, because I grew up singing like more like a, more like full voice stuff. I sing like opera and theater stuff in college and whatnot. So it took me a long time to kind of find what my real kind of like actual, like I guess not like pop voice, but just when I'm not trying to sound like an opera singer voice sounded like. So yeah, that took me a little while longer, and also just to find my own sound. But I think every artist goes through that with their sound. You know what I mean? Like I can't remember who it was I read. They were talking about how like they think you start like your first band, you try and sound like your favorite band, and then you get really good at sounding like your favorite band, and then one day you realize that you could be your favorite band, so you reinvent that sound to become like what your favorite band is.
Who did you try to emulate?
When I first started, actually, it was the Black Crowes. I really love the Black Crowes. Like, I mean, that was a while ago, though. And I have a great respect for their music. I just don't really listen to it that much anymore. But then it was more, like the Brooklyn indie scene that I've kind of been immersed in.
So you were just talking about the Brooklyn indie scene, and
Yeah.
I was actually going to ask if you felt that having access to it and being involved in it did help you become a different songwriter, or did shape you in any way as a musician?
Oh yeah, definitely. I mean, my first roots in New York was at the first musical kind of home that I found was this place called the Sidewalk Cafe. It was on the Lower East Side, and there's so many amazing artists there, but Regina Spektor played there, the Moldy Peaches played there, Jimmy Dawson, Adam Green, Toby Goodshank, Paleface, like so many really, really great artists that were all about kind of taking risks, and it was really freeing for me because I came from like a very, obviously a very classical background, and so to see I remember one day Regina came in and just sat down and played piano with one hand and beat on her chair with a drumstick with the other, and sang this song, and everyone, was like, it was wonderful, it was beautiful. It's like, okay, cool, well, I can do that too. So then things became a lot more experimental for me at that point. And it was cool, I mean, and then, I think I always returned to my pop roots. I learned to play piano, I learned to play pop music kind of by the songbooks of Elton John and Billy Joel and that stuff. So this other flavor is coming into it, made it more interesting.
Now I'm going to mention One Tree Hill, because I know that you did have a role on One Tree Hill, which I think was kind of molded after you. You played yourself, sort of, or a variation of yourself.
Yeah.
How was that? Was it hard to be yourself on camera as a character?
It actually was surprisingly easy. I think it's really overwhelming when you walk onto a set like that. It's like the One Tree Hill was a really big deal. I had no idea how big a deal. I remember my first day on set. It was crazy. Actually, Sophia Bush was directing, and there was 100 crew members. There was 100 extras, and I had one line. I didn't even know what a mark was, which is a very important thing to know when you're an actor. It was very overwhelming. But as soon as I settled in, and the cast was also sweet to me. The first day that I got there, I remember literally half of the cast came to my hotel, picked me up, and took me out to dinner, and wouldn't let me pay for anything. And we all hung out and had drinks, and the relationship that I had with the other characters on the show was really very much like my relationship with the characters. They're all really are friends of mine. They're all really sweet, wonderful people.
That's good. Was acting ever something you considered pursuing before that?
Yeah, I got a degree in theater in college. I got a degree in music theater, actually. But that was always stage stuff. I never was really focused on the screen aspects of things. So, I didn't really have any experience in front of a camera. And I think that the first 50% of acting in front of a camera that you have to get over is how to deal with the camera. You know what I mean? So they got me around that. Now the really tricky stuff would start if I was going to be a really serious actor. But I'm happy to just do fun little bit roles as myself on television shows if they come up.
So do you think you might pursue something else in acting, or do you think that was?
It was such a wonderful experience. I can't say that I would ever turn it down again. But the thing is, I think that right now music is a really, really full-time job. and it's, you know, we tour pretty constantly. We're always outgoing. We're in the studio. There's a lot that goes on behind the scenes you don't see. So, you know, and acting takes up a lot of time.
I know that I think this is the last season for One Tree Hill. Is there a chance that Grubbs might reprise his role?
You never know. I think they're going to wrap while I'm on this tour, though. So, unfortunately, I don't think I'm going to be able to get down there. Yeah, but I've been talking to the guys, and I hear that this season is coming together really well. So, it should be a lot of fun to watch.
I have to admit I am a fan. And
Yeah.
actually, I knew your music before watching that season of the show because I'm really impatient. And I can't watch TV when it's on TV. I have to wait and get the whole DVD and then watch the entire series, like season at once. And so your character started playing the song, and I was like, I know this. Why do I know this? And I didn't put two and two together because I guess I'm a bit slow, maybe.
Oh, that's so cool that you found us before. You know, I think that's very, the majority of the people that are fans of that show are really serious music lovers. You know, it's this one thing that made that show so perfect for us to be on and to give us kind of what really was our first break, you know, because the people that love that show really love music, and they look for us and follow us. You know, like the minute that I hit the first note on the piano on the show, like that night we went out, I had no idea what was going to happen to my life, you know, and like we watched the show. We actually watched it at Robert Buckley's house, which is weird to watch a television show with the people that are on the show. They just sit in the room, and I'm like, okay, there's James is on TV, and he's sitting right there. And he's talking to Rob, and Rob's sitting right there, and then there's Steven's right there, but he's going to be here in a minute. So we did that, and then we went out for a drink afterward, and I got a text from my manager, and he was like, "You're the #5 Google search in America," and I was like, "What?" Like,
of course I am.
You know, like that's insane. So you know, it's really, I don't know. You're never prepared for that stuff, but it's amazing when it happens.
Well, speaking of your popularity, I know there are other members in Wakey.
Mm-hmm.
How does everyone feel with you being the focus? Are they okay with that? Is there going to be like one of those no doubt, don't speak moments where everyone's
no.
all the animosity is going to come to a head?
Well, you know, honestly, like at this point, it's pretty much like Tanya is the longest, you know, surviving band member of Wakey, and she's been probably my best friend for like 8 years, you know. So like long before we played music together, we were really close, and she's just excited for all the great things that are happening for the band, you know, and then anyone else that we play with is just stoked because like it's really fun to play to venues when they're full of people.
I would imagine it would be.
So it makes a big difference in a tour when, you know, suddenly there's actually people there
showing up.
Yeah, so I think there's no way to see an opportunity like the one that I was so lucky to have as anything but like a total blessing for everyone.
So what's next for Wakey?
Well, we have tour. We're gonna go to all over Europe, and then we're recording a little bit and starting work on a new album.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much for sitting down and talking to me for this.
Awesome. No, it was such a pleasure. Yeah, thanks.
We did have some technical difficulties. I appreciate that you stuck it out for me.
That's all. It's all part of the fun.
Thanks so much. It was
Cool.
great meeting you.
Yeah, thank you so much. Bye, guys. See you later.